campaign in the long fight against discrimination against Negroes?
Well, probably the newest development is the tremendous drive to increase the number of Negro registered voters in the South. Over the last year, more than 100,000 Negroes have been added in the South, and in a state like Georgia alone, over the last 90 days, more than 35,000 new Negro registered voters have been added, and all of the civil rights organizations have come together to work in this area.
Do you think this will change the political complexion, perhaps, of the South?
Yes, I think so. I think it will liberalize the political climate, and I think that we will be able to elect political leaders in the South now who will be much more reasonable on the question of racial justice.
Do you anticipate continued efforts to prevent Negroes from voting despite increased registration?
Yes, we still have a great deal of opposition. All types of conniving methods are still being used, such as complex literacy tests and intimidation and threats, and in some instances economic reprisals are taken out against Negroes who seek to register and to vote. And I'm sure that the Justice Department will have to be vigilant and work with determination to end this if we are going to be successful.
The Democrats apparently feel they have the Negro vote in their pocket, and the Republicans have announced they plan to make an all-out effort to win the Negro vote. What success do you anticipate the Republicans might have?
I think it will depend on the sincerity of the Republican Party, and I think from now on in, Negro voters will be much more concerned about sincere deliverance rather than promises that are never implemented. And if the Republican Party will make its intentions clear and stand up on them, I'm sure that Negroes will vote the Republican ticket just as the Democratic ticket. I don't think either party can boast of having the Negro vote in its vest pocket.
How would you summarize the accomplishments of your Gandhi-like nonviolent technique since the Montgomery bus boycott in '55 and '56?
Well, I think some very significant strides have been made over the last few years as a result of the nonviolent struggle in the South. For instance, the sit-in movement, which developed in 1960, has brought about integrated lunch counters in more than 150 cities of the South. Also, the Freedom Rides resulted in bringing about integrated transportation facilities in the South, all over the South, and with the few exceptions in Mississippi, most of the cities have complied with the ruling of the Interstate Commerce Commission. So I would say that strides have been made, and we're still making them in the nonviolent struggle.
And you feel that this is the best policy to follow, is nonviolence rather than more direct action?
Well, I think that nonviolence is a type of direct action, but it is not violent, and it is not a bitter reaction. And I do feel that nonviolent resistance is the most potent weapon available to oppressed people in their struggle for freedom and justice.
Thank you, Reverend Martin Luther King.